logging into StreamYard. So how am I so far?
It's kind of in and out. Have you got the headphones on or not?
No, I was trying to go without them today since I was having such a hard time yesterday.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 2 cups of hot coffee today. Extreme heat warnings, and my dog wants to want some sunscreen. Pull up a chair, relax, come in, we'll have a great time. Or not. We really don't care around here. It's burning bush hot out. If you're wondering what this painting is, that's burning bush. For a couple of years at least, that's all I painted was burning bushes, Moses and the burning bush. And Moses was always out. It was just the bush, focused on the bush. Gotta love the bush.
That's right.
Ryan James in the house. I have a meeting with him later.
Hey, Ryan. Good to see you, buddy.
Ryan. Of course, the Hump Day show with Homer tonight. I'll try and make it. I totally opted out of the topic list. Now you're sounding really good, Shadow, just by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you do anything different?
I just switched it to auto adjust the volume on my mic. So
okay.
Maybe
that's all it took, because this is the best you've sounded in a couple days, actually. This is good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Save that setting. But yeah, I slept through topic lists, and you know what they say, Shadow? Early to bed, early to rise. I have done 2 loads of laundry, and they were full super laundry to get all my stinky work shirts and other shirts cleaned and hung up.
Action.
Little ketchup action, but I'm more of a mustard guy. Yes.
Yeah.
No, and please hold the mayo. As you well know, that is my kryptonite. Frank Walk in the house. We've got Ryan James, Mr. Octagon, in the house, and our illustrious co-host Shadowhawk Talks.
What?
Formerly Shadowhawk Backs. He still does both.
Call me what you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Tell me what you want. So, I've got vim and vigor at almost 60 years old. But now some of you out there in this extreme heat may be like Kermit the Frog. I feel like I'm already tired tomorrow.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know that feeling too. But yeah, feeling pretty good today. So
I'm feeling better now. I spent 3 hours on the phone with my insurance company, finally getting my prescription straightened out so I can get my knee work done. So finally got everything confirmed and gone through. I thought I had done that a couple of days ago, but when I called to check on it again today, I was like starting from step 1, man. And luckily, the lady who was helping me out was willing to go through everything, make sure everything got submitted properly. So I'm a happy guy today.
Well, I hope in all that you are keeping hydrated. Today I am drinking. See how I just segued away from that and into the drink? Finally getting to the cranberry ginger ale by Canada Dry.
That sounds pretty good. I've had the cherry ginger ale. That's not bad.
Is that from Canada Dry as well?
Yeah.
It does have a cranberry. It's not like the ginger ale taste that you get probably if they bottled it, because it'd be fizzy, right?
Yeah, it's
So it's a little
ginger ale
different,
is
but
pretty carbonated, I think.
yeah, ginger ale should be carbonated. Otherwise, it's pretty flat, like most sodas, if you leave them out. Ryan says, so glad you figured out your audio issue, Shadow. Well, I don't know. It's a work in progress. I felt bad how much trouble you're having, he says. Apex Comics in the house. And Carrie, what's today's drink? Today's drink, you just missed it, was me taking a drink and my reaction, I guess. Cranberry ginger ale by Canada Dry. Tomorrow's drink, we're going to try Lifesavers drink mix. It's pineapple punch, I believe. You can see punch on here, but white lettering on this yellow, they don't want you to read that, folks. That's I think it says pineapple. I know it does. But it's very hard to read. That's bad design. But they box that up. And I don't even know that pineapple. But now when I mixed it up, it turned blue. So that's supposed to be pineapple.
Huh. Okay, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a blue pineapple, but why not?
Well, I've got a purple one around here somewhere. Remember? Purple Pineapple Productions. I was a busy beaver earlier today. I set up the Russ and Randy Arrow Comics show, which will be episode 1196, getting close to 1200 on, of course, today's episode 100, 1188. That's a good way to say it. And then, of course, Saturday on the Rex Hex and Apex show on this channel, we have Mike Gustovich on again. And I set up the Edwin Buzz Acevedo show. So there's my 3 limit for today.
Yeah, I saw those notifications earlier, so they all came through. Okay.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why is that on there twice? This is like, I've got this set up twice, today's show twice, and 2 are waiting over
there. Whoopsie daisy.
Is this going? Well, that's weird. Okay, so I clicked on it and it's actually live. Let me check on this one. Okay, when I came back, it's not split anymore. The other one disappeared. That's weird. Okay.
You were simulcasting on your own channel, Rex.
I know. I made YouTube history.
That's a new one.
I've never had non-carbonated ginger ale. Yeah, these are like the little drink mixes. 1 day left on Fembat Volume 1. 1 day left, Apex says. All right, well, let's take a look at that. Any new art from Topicless? No, I didn't go on Topicless. I rested, and I got up early and hit the ground running. I went and got, I had the free coupons come in the mail for a free car wash, and I've got another coupon as well. And I'm going to ask Andy maybe if Terry got one in her mailbox, if I can use those. If he's not going to use them, if he's going to use them, he can get it when he picks up the mail. He did contact me on the phone. His wife, not his wife, his mother passed away around Mother's Day, around his birthday. So prayers for him. He's been with his job moving around. He's got a place in Nashville too. So, but he says, is there anything that needs to be done? And I'm like, no, everything's good. I saw that your yard got mowed. And although right now, my guy didn't even need to really mow mine. It's dust, a lot of dust. When I started with him, it was like $40. Now it's $60 a month. Of course, that hike in gas and when things go up, but it he mows it too often for my taste. When it's hot like this, not much is growing. In fact, a lot, if you shear it down too low, it's going to start turning brown and dying. I noticed across the street, she's got a new sprinkler system doing her little patch. I'm telling you, that's Miss Clark on the corner there, because there's a street before my house, a turnoff, and I graduated with her son in high school. he was one of the few of us that there was only a handful of us that had been there all 12 years from first grade to 12th, and he was one of them. Big basketball player, starter. I was bench sitter, but his mother lives across there. And over the past 2 years plus, she's done a lot of work on that place and it's looking good. So she's increasing the value of my property just by spending her retirement money on some very nice fancy stuff, so I'm happy. Cranberry and ginger, odd combo with both being quite strong taste. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, not that the bubbles are not there, it's being different.
Yeah, it just seems like ginger ale would be really flat tasting without the carbonation. I don't know.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. We'll check out how blue pineapple tastes tomorrow. Cranberries are good for your bladder, helps UTIs. Absolutely. Yeah. Right now, pray for my sister. She's on steroids and something else. I haven't really talked to her, but I've got tonight off too. Shadowhawk, that's 3 nights in a row. Really 5 nights in a row because or did I work Thursday? I can't remember. I think I was off Thursday.
One of them nights, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thank God. I think I worked Monday, off Tuesday, worked Wednesday. So I got like a 2-day check coming to me. This next check. That's gonna be heartbreaking. But now, and I was supposed to go out Friday. But I didn't. She sent no trucks tonight going out tonight twice, and I thought that was for Friday because I saw one come in, and then the next time I checked it, I was conserving power on my phone till I could get a charger, right?
Right.
Because I accidentally ruined my cord, and I got my charger here. Antenna. Feel the universal power. This is actually leftover coffee from that I heated up from earlier, but I was darn sure to brew me another cup, so that's why. And I looked at my thermometer a few hours ago, and it was 65 in here, but it doesn't seem 65. And you got to start that air early to get those walls cool to it be 65 as hot as it is out there, because it hit 100 the other day. It's been hovering around 98, 100 around here for a while. It's a dust bowl. It's bone dry. I got out early and watered all my flowers, and he, it being so dusty, when he mowed the yard, my black truck looked brown. It was dusty. So I said, well, I have those free coupons to that. I thought it might have been the place down there, but they opened up a new one when I sprayed down that way to where I went to high school, Valley View. They've got a new one, and that's what they're promoting. They were doing, a whole section there where they were going to put a big, I don't know why they're wanting like a city within a city. They've got some fancy places. In fact, I was stunned that they had that car wash. They had like a stop and go or whatever, convenience store. They had stuff built from last time I was out there. Just kind of like when I went downwind, I saw all those solar farms, and then I saw all those windmills. They did that in between October and when I went down there. I was like, wow, they're coming up. Of course, they've had it cleared for like a big mall, and then the mall fell through. They didn't put it out there, and I'm kind of glad they didn't, because it's going to get glutted otherwise. It's kind of like when you go by the university, kind of a busy street somewhat, or can be. It's less busy than out there, but people are going and coming out into Jonesboro, out and into Jonesboro. So kind of fast paced. But it didn't take long at all for that car wash to just zip us through, you know. And Abby's like, it's been a while since we've done this. What's going on? You know,
Yeah.
prayers for Rex's sister. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Watched Batman versus Superman, the director's cut last night. It was way better than I remembered. Very dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen the director's cut on that one yet. I'll have to check it out.
I don't know. I don't know if I have either. If it's on, W. Frank Walk. Let's check him out and see if he needs a wrench. Indeed, he does. So we'll just give Frank a watch. Pigmacast Studio is his
I'd say the
brand.
name sounds very familiar to me for some reason. Why do I know W. Frank Walk?
If you want to check out his channel, here is the link to it, and we will confer on to Frank W. Frank a wrench and add him as a moderator. Standard, of course.
Hopefully he's not a troublemaker.
We have a very special guest coming on tomorrow, as far as I know.
Yes.
Would you like to guess?
Is it a surprise?
Would you like to play a game? What is that quote from? Would you like to play a game?
War Games.
Yes. And we mentioned that the other day, so that was an easy one, right?
Yep.
Speaking of movies, Shadowhawk, one you may enjoy that I watched last night movie is called Until Dawn. It's a horror movie based from a video
game. All right.
She
I'll have to check that out.
I like a good horror. I would have bet even money you would have said, I've seen it. Because you watch a lot of horror movies.
I may have. I watch so many, it's hard to keep track. If they're for free on streaming, I'm probably watching it at some point.
Just responding to our special guest that will be joining us for at least 30 minutes tomorrow. Michael T. Gilbert will be on with us.
Oh, very nice.
Mr. Monster. Remember Mr. Monster?
Yeah, we haven't talked to him in a while.
We haven't ever talked to him.
We haven't. Okay, I thought we talked to him a while
never back. Talked to him, right?
Oh,
now, okay. He actually did a Kickstarter, I think, cover for John Bua, a.k.a. John's Longbox. He did a cover for what started out, I think, as a Kickstarter variant, and then he allowed other, didn't make it quite a Kickstarter variant, that was, it started out that way. You could only get it over on Kickstarter, but then he kind of, I think, made it available on the other campaigns too, that the other avenues that he had it at the time. So
thank you, Kerry.
So we will be on at least 30 minutes with him. And if he gets engaged, we might marry the man. No, if he gets engaged in the conversation, we will have him on for longer. You know how Rex can kind of trick these creators in talking for days and days and days. Huh?
I said, we'll call it a honeymoon. Just don't grill him like you did poor T-Bunny.
Thanks for the shout out. I've been doing a podcast rounds promoting my book. Also worked with Luca Aguilera on the Mercenary Guild. Oh, cool. So through Shadow there, recently Mercenary Guild closed their campaign. So that should go into fulfillment here pretty good. It's nice to meet you, Frank. We promoted them a couple times on here, actually. Shadowhawk, will you send a link to watch it? That movie you were talking about.
Yeah, Carrie said she's going to send me a link, so let's go.
She will send you one. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting game. The only way to win is not to play.
Yeah, Luke is a good friend of the channel. We're always happy to promote him here. So
Yeah, and I hated missing. And I noticed Jason. I knew he was hosting, and there's only 6 spots, and he was talking about earlier, like weeks earlier, that uh, it's kind of on a first come first save basis, whatever. And but he
Right.
used Restream last night
Oh,
because
okay.
he sent me the link. It was just Restream, so apparently he's going that free option. I think. And that might be because he's ran out of free time on StreamYard. He wasn't going to pay for it anymore. Restream you
No,
can get
man, that
free.
StreamYard's crazy.
I think it's still limited to 6. But I slept through it and no new topicless artwork. I did some writing earlier today, Carrie. I did not do any drawings. The last thing I did was that geo that I showed you yesterday, which is right here, as a matter of fact. Whoops. There we go. Very colorful one here. And I'm glad we had Dan Lawless on talking about westerns. He said, I asked him, why do you think westerns to me weren't ever really that popular, but people seem to be getting back to them. I have not started, but I am done with season 18 of Gunsmoke and going on to season 19 tonight at some point. There we go. And what Dan said, Dan Lawless, he was saying because the West wasn't colorful. So that's I'm gonna, limited palette. Of course, this isn't in the Old West, but it's got mesas and rocks and stuff. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make mine. I'm gonna keep that in mind when coloring my Western, my midnight Western, to make sure that I try and put in color, in there that engages you. It can be done,
Yeah.
I think, if you keep that in mind. Um, I will be on the Hump Day show tonight. I think I will be meeting with Ryan, and Ryan's going to be doing some preliminary sketches for a new piece that will go into the Devil Flyer art book.
Yeah, I
I think
sent
everybody
Omer.
will
I
like that.
finally settled in on the armor that I want for Battlehawk and the head design and stuff. So I sent Omer a couple of pics earlier and asked him if he would draw me up a final concept, but I haven't heard back from him yet. So hopefully I'll hear from him soon.
Yeah, he might have been busy setting today's show up. I
Yeah,
took a little
could be.
bit of
Yeah.
time to set up like 3 shows today.
Well,
Um,
when I sent him the message, it showed he was active, so I figured he was probably sending links or on with somebody or something. So
mhm. Carrie says, Shadowhawk, what did you think to Hellraiser game trailer? Have you
it
seen
looks
that?
pretty good actually. I thought it looked pretty cool. Some of the monsters look pretty scary. It looks like it might be okay. I don't know.
Frank, what is your book you're promoting? Have you got a link or something? What type of book are you doing? Be interested to know what he's working on. He's worked on Mercenary Guild with Luke.
Right?
Promoting my book, also worked with Luke. Yeah, that's right. I think I read that right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a burning bush, and it'd be hot like a burning bush out there. About 39 hours left on Hellstones #1. There you go. Now you can drop the link, a Kickstarter over there.
Ah,
I think I'll click on that. We'll take a look at that right now. Hey,
sounds like
why
a
not?
plan.
Sounds like a plan. Everybody is watching my shorts. Thank you. My underwear is really not that interesting. No, I mean my short videos. My character Devil Flyer 138 in views. Midnight getting more love, 104 views. And Bog getting 5 more views. He's up to 85 now. So will he top
Nice.
100? Go check out my shorts. That just doesn't sound right, does it? But I'm feeling giddy today. I had the night off, so I'm going to live a little.
There you go.
how was work for you today, or did you go, Shadowhawk?
No, I didn't go to work today. I couldn't
You
even
were
hardly.
dealing with the with your knee stuff for
Yeah,
one thing.
yeah. Well, after
See,
yesterday,
oh,
I ended up
after,
doing a lot at work yesterday, and it's just
yeah.
because of the way my knee is, and having to be very careful how I step and all that kind of stuff. It's affecting my back. So I woke up this morning and my lower back was all locked up in addition to my knee feeling like shit. So I took the day off, and then I spent the day on the phone with the insurance company trying to get something accomplished, and looks like we finally did. So, yay!
Frank, have you got time to come in and talk about Hellstone Zero? We'll show your campaign over on Kickstarter, but if you want to come on, I will drop the link in the chat, and you can come on and talk about it yourself if you've got time.
There you go.
Just think.
Oh, only
Just thought I
39
would
hours left. That's just a little
roll
less than
that
2
out
days.
there. Yeah, yeah. It's ending, and it's a zero issue. The next comic that I do will be this, of course, a prequel, which Ryan James doesn't think it's a prequel, but we had a whole discussion about that. But I'll try and make it a prequel. I'll look up the definition and try and make it a prequel. Anyway, Devil Flyer Zero will be my next project after the Unseen artwork of John Buscema, which will be my next book, and we're already working on that. I don't know if she sent me the files yet. Slower than Christmas over there at the printers. Sure thing, happy to. Okay, all right. Here's the link there for you, Frank, to come in on.
Cool.
Shadowhawk, does Cloudy use a litter tray? Have you ever found cat treats sample in the litter? 2 bags of cat litter has had bags of cat treats in them. I hope they're in separate bags so that you don't have to go digging for it. That sounds horrendous.
A while back, we had found it, something like that, but Mama Hawk switched over to a different litter now that she likes better. And it's in the plastic bins, so we don't get any of the little freebies in the bags anymore.
I mean,
it like comes like
do
in
you
a
think
plastic.
That's an accident, or is that something they're actually doing to promote the litter?
Oh no, yeah, they do that. I mean, a lot of times the litter companies are associated with the treats and.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
now, yeah. Frank, I see you back there. Just a second. So that's a poop starter, basically.
I guess so.
Yeah, they're going to show you, feed your cat this, and then it'll use the litter box. Hey, Frank, or what do you want to be called? I have a W there.
Frank, I go by Frank.
Okay.
Good to meet you, Frank.
Yeah. Does the W stand for something? You don't have.
Yeah. My first name's actually Wiley.
Really?
It is.
Now you don't play with anvils or throw off cliffs, right? Like Wiley
no.
Coyote. So wow, you got the color wheel back there and all kinds of artwork and stuff. You got werewolves behind you? What is that?
No werewolves.
No werewolves. Okay. Well, you got the human skull back there for reference. That's cool. So where are you located? Now wait a minute. I see a Hellraiser back there. I see Pinhead.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I got a little Pinhead up there and Freddy Krueger as well.
Okay. Yeah, we love Freddy.
Another horror fan. I love it.
Well, we're going to bring up
your Omaha, Nebraska myself.
Omaha. Okay.
Oh.
That's right.
Now I've got a question that's off. Does anybody know if Ohio, that's Eastern time, isn't it? At least that's what I told Michael.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Parts of it are probably Central Standard as well. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Are you a metal fan, Frank?
Depending on the metal, sure. Yeah. I don't discriminate too much with music.
Yeah. Do you listen to stuff in the studio when you're working?
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Frank, what's your kind of formal training? Did you go to college?
I did not. No, self-taught.
Self-taught. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been an artist my whole life, and then like back in like 2019, I was like, I'm kind of good at everything, but I'm not great at anything. Did some self-reflection, and I was like, I like the digital painting. I like being a colorist the most. So I just went all in, and that's what I put all my focus in on for the last like 6 years is just being a colorist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get to
Yeah, it
color
seems like at
the?
some point you gotta kind of pick a specialty, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to find a good colorist. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they
There's
seem to
there's
be
a lot
few
of
and far
bad ones
between.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, you need to know as a colorist, you need to know perspective. You need to know lighting, especially, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's what I liked the most about it was trying to. It's always a puzzle to me. Every panel, just trying to figure out where the light and shadow and effects are, and how
Yeah.
colors are going to play with all of that. I love it.
Covers are kind of like, I don't know, they're not necessarily pinups, but they're easier, aren't they, than like doing the sequential
Oh
panel to
yeah.
panel stuff.
Yeah,
It's a
you don't have
different
to worry about
science.
consistency from
Hmm.
panel to panel or page to page. You get to hone in on one awesome image and
Yeah.
take your time on it. Give it that extra rendering love. Because
Hmm.
typically when you're going panel to panel, page to page, you're having to move quick. You still need to maintain a certain level of quality, of course. But when you're, doing a cover, you get to take almost as much time as you need to get all the texture and rendering and little details.
Because that's what sells the
Yeah,
book.
well,
Do you are you very cognizant of pacing? Does that come into your color theory? Of how
Yeah,
you color stuff is the pacing of the story.
the pacing, mostly I'd say first and foremost is like the emotional tone, like what tone is being set.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's really gonna change the palette quite dramatically. If something's shocking or surprising, it might be yellows or oranges, and
Hmm.
anger, red, and looking
Right.
into the emotional side of color theory as well.
Yeah. 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 It's like the death of the phoenix. I couldn't tell you what the color palette was for that, but I just cried at that. Everything
Right.
was a banger on X-Men at that time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a prime example of everything coming together in the right way.
Well, really, anything can take you out of the experience of enjoying the book. It could be bad lettering, it could be bad coloring, often is,
mm,
or colors are so dark, right, Shadowhawk? I mean, we've
oh
looked
yeah,
at a
yeah.
bunch of comics where they're just so dark,
Yeah.
the digital coloring on them, and they don't have that clean, crisp. Uh, Identification with the readers where you can look across the room and kind of identify what's going on. Yeah. Now you didn't color
Mhm.
the Mercenary Guild logo, did you?
Not the logo itself.
I
No.
think I think Luke did that himself,
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah,
That was quite an impressive logo that he did.
yeah.
I was
Luke
very
did that,
impressed by that. So
but
you were the colorist on Mercenary Guild.
yeah, sure did.
Okay.
Yep, colored
Oh,
I
all
know
of it.
Shadow's got multiple copies coming, so he'll be ogling
yes,
your
sir.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Looking forward to getting my copies as well.
Yeah.
Next time
Yeah.
I shall give you a critique of my critique.
So are you officially a part of Shadowmare, I suppose, now?
No, no, not at all. That,
No?
that was all freelance work. I was hired by William Headline, who was the writer for that.
Yeah. We've had him on, and we've had Morb on, the writer, a couple
Yep.
times, as a matter of fact. Let me share Hellstones.
Yeah,
I'm glad
sure.
they're not
Yeah,
kidney
yeah.
stones.
Yeah, me too.
Um, yeah, that would make you sit up and tell us about give us your pitch for Hellstones Zero.
Yeah, sure. So it's
That's a
a
great image.
gritty supernatural action series that really explores the dynamics of power, corruption, and what it costs to do the right thing when the world's burning down around you. how much are you willing to sacrifice of yourself and your morality and what you view as the greater good?
Okay, so I see like almost angel-like beings fighting here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the Hellstones are. The Hellstones, back at the dawn of time, Lucifer was kicked out of heaven, and in that moment, Michael clipped his wings and cast him out of heaven into hell, right? Well, what
Right.
happened to his wings? Well, his wings floated through space and time and eventually eroded and decayed and fossilized and landed on Earth as fossilized fragments of his wings known as Hellstones. And each of those, since they're angelic relics, bestow powers on the holders.
Now they almost look like the Infinity Gauntlet type things, huh?
That's true. I've gotten that more than once.
Yeah, yeah.
But what are you gonna do? You know.
That's great imagery there with the logo and all the stones and a write up on what all the stones are about. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this story was created and written and colored by me, lettered by me. The only thing I didn't do is the line art.
How hard is it to render rain?
Luckily, when you're doing it digitally, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're doing it traditional, you can't make a brush for that. That's a lot of individual strokes when you're doing it traditional.
Now, do you do traditional and you do digital? What
Uh,
percentage of your work's probably digital now? Because that kind of takes
it's
over a
almost,
lot of people.
yeah, it's pretty much all digital at this point. The workflow's better. The cost of materials is negligible.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working with inks and alcohol markers and stuff like that, I mean, the cost of upkeeping all of that is just so much greater.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I wish I
I
had
mean,
my
I
more
still love
recent.
working traditionally, don't get me wrong, but it just
With
doesn't make sense.
digital, that was the thing about, and I mentioned it before with Image Comics in the early 90s, they had lens flare, they had
Mhm.
out of focus shots, and you couldn't do that previously. That really,
Yeah.
their coloring, really, their new digital coloring that they came in with in Image Comics before DC and Marvel really made their work stand apart from what was out there at the time.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And Shadowhawk bought that by the box load.
Oh, yeah. I was a big Image guy back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to now, though, is they just announced that crazy 32 issue, basically fan comic that John Byrne's been working on for the last 10 years. They're going to publish that now.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
All the,
I
yeah,
Yeah.
missed
the
It's
that.
going to be
X-Men.
That's
released
awesome.
in 3 volumes next year.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'd love to see where Byrne took the, when he left X-Men and Claremont left,
Yeah.
how things would have
I'm,
gone.
I'm,
So,
I'm going to be watching that very closely, Shadowhawk. So when you pre-order, we'll jump right on that because,
oh, yeah. I
man,
bet you it's
that's,
going to raise a
Yeah.
buttload of money, man.
well, I bet you it was just fan chatter like ours, we're going, did you know that John Byrne did this? And everybody was like, I bet it got back to the and I think Marvel is trying to earn money anywhere they can make it. And now they're clashing and teaming up with DC Comics, which I said that before I even know they were going to do that.
Yeah, I also
That if
heard
they want to make some money, do some crossover stuff.
Yeah.
they're going to remaster and reprint the Amalgam stuff. Amalgam.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, from what I heard about the Byrne thing was he was actually publishing completed pages on this thing for the last 10 years on his YouTube channel or website, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what he's actually
Now I've
on there.
heard conflicting things on that. I thought at first that someone said that he picked up where Neil Adams left off with the X-Men and kind of continued it. But then I'm saying no, maybe he continued his own run. I don't know how you do that with additional writing and other things
Mm.
going on. I don't know exactly where this
Yeah,
fits.
from
X-Men
From what I
canon.
understand, it's like the direction he would have gone if he wouldn't have left the book in what was that, the
Yeah.
late 80s
Oh,
or the
okay.
mid 80s.
So
Yeah,
it may
so
deviate, kind of like a what if story. And
yeah, I believe
if
that
you
it's even
remember,
called like
Okay.
Elsewhen or something like that.
okay.
Elsewhere or Elsewhen. So
Well, now that
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so
Elsewhere, and very close to what DC does with their stuff.
right, yeah. So
Now, you know, if you remember back in the early direct in the 80s, they did a Death of Phoenix special, where, you know, Jean Grey lived.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like, I think, the alternative ending or whatever to that.
I
Had
know there was
additional
a
pay.
what if that they did.
Okay. Let me look that up real quick on eBay, and I'll just show you the cover. You go, oh yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, I
Probably.
probably do. Now that you mention it, I seem to remember some
It's a
kind of.
wraparound cover where the Dark Phoenix, where Jean Grey's like this, and you know, the other X-Men members are on the back cover, and she's kind
Right.
of like going up against them. Let me see if I can.
That does sound familiar. But you know, I got out of mainstream way back in 2000, and I rarely go back and read my old issues or anything anymore. Every once in a while.
Right. Of course, X-Men 137 is where she died in the original run.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
136, he's holding her limp body on the cover. Very dramatic.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
And I think
Now, when did you start
with
collecting
Cyclops
comics,
walking away.
Frank, or do you?
I don't anymore, and for for good reason. Back in 2005, I was in a house fire
Oh
and
no!
lost
Okay.
absolutely everything. And
Trigger.
that just broke my heart, and I just can't bring myself to it.
Yeah.
To collect anything anymore.
It's my worst fear, dude. Is fire.
Yeah.
I got so much paper in this house.
Yeah. Luckily, I was the only person there. Nobody got hurt, but yeah, lost everything though. That was
Wow, that's a shame, man. Yeah, Rex had a fire back when, and
I sure did. Yep.
I just heard a story from another one of our buddies the other day. They had a fire and lost their collection at some point. It's just like, man, you know, how do you even start again at that point? You know, it's
no, you're right.
Well, how I did it, I bought a comic book shop out. Turned around.
Yeah, that's a good way to do
it. Yeah. And I'm glad I did, because I got an 8.5 first appearance of Harley Quinn back there out of the deal, for one thing. And all those Spawn toys too.
Yeah.
Okay, Phoenix the Untold Story came out in 1984. Newsstand unread. Ooh, they're only wanting about $20 for it.
I'm sure I probably got it. It was 84. I was huge on the X-Men back then.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's only been 40 years ago, but
yeah, that's all.
Early direct book, actually, for Marvel. Does that cover look familiar to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now let's see the cover again. Yeah, I got that one.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have an image of the back?
Yes, they do. I think they better.
Oop.
They want to go so quick. All right, there it is. The Beast. Look at that. Look at that, man. Dramatic.
Oh, that's great. Great image,
man,
dude. Look at that.
Look at that, man.
So good. So good.
It's amazing how much they pack in, and just, you know, and then it starts with the Watcher, almost like a what if. She's dead, Jim. It says on, see here, my X-Men editor. Yeah. And then it talks
Jim
about it.
Saligor.
This
Yeah.
ain't no what if story, he says. When issue 137 of the X-Men was conceived, Jean Grey, the virtually all powerful super mutant called Dark Phoenix, survived at the end of the story. Albeit in an altered state. However, all-powerful editor-in-chief Jim Shooter, who sadly just passed away, had a problem with that particular ending. After all, he wondered, hadn't nasty old Dark Phoenix destroyed a star, which set off a chain reaction, which resulted in wiping out an entire planet of cute little fuzzy creatures? Yeah, that did happen. So I guess we can blame Jim Shooter for killing Jean Grey.
Well, I mean, he gets blamed for a lot of stuff.
But not a what if story. Not a what if story.
That's what probably threw me off, because that opening page is Uatu there, which, most what if stories, they start just like that.
Right.
Yeah. Where do you go from here, Frank, after the book closes out?
Yeah. So I've already started storyboarding out book 1.
Oh, excellent.
Gee, thanks, Jim Shooter.
I think that's cool, because I started with a prequel and with my book, and then I'm going to a 0 issue. Often the 0 issues kind of came, much later, but it's kind of cool that you're starting with a 0 and then going to 1.
Yeah. And I'm only doing that because I already have everything scripted out. I know exactly where my beats are. I'm doing a 12-book series. And I knew that before I knew that I was even going to do a book 0.
Okay, so 12 books, it's really 13 with the 0?
Yeah, with the 0. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good trade paperback size.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or a couple of them, I mean, 12, about 6 issues there, 7 issues there, whatever. What's the length of the book?
For book 0, it's 8 pages of story, and then another 4 or 5 of just lore, back images.
Right.
I have 1 page dedicated to the original concept story that I wrote back in 2015. Just a 1-page concept story I did when I was working an office job.
Hey, RJ.
Still had that original file, so I thought it'd be cool to show people where it all started.
Hey, Frank, I meant to ask you. You said you did everything but the line art. Who was your artist on that?
That's a gentleman named Epilose Paul.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Cuss,
what was that?
I'm sorry. I just making a joke. I said no need to cuss anytime somebody says a name that I can't say.
Yeah. But no, we meshed really well, styles wise.
Where's he out of? Is he out of the state somewhere?
Yeah, he's actually in Indonesia.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I spent a lot of time vetting a line artist, because as a colorist, I know exactly what I want out of a line artist.
Mm-hmm.
And once I saw his stuff, I was like, that's going to work great for me.
Well, now you have a lot of Christian
iconography?
Yes, what he said
there you go.
in there. Are you a Christian? You don't have to answer that, but
No,
does that play a part in it for you?
No, I was raised that way, but I'm not now. I would say I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not necessarily one for organized religion.
Yeah. Right. But now you have people are spiritual, has a spiritual component to them, right? Because I mean, you immediately started talking about emotional scenes and and conveying all that with color and and the art, and it's like that's very intriguing, especially your take on the fall of Lucifer, with the wings being fossilized and everything. That's cool.
Yeah, thanks. I really wanted to come up with like a unique way to present these Hellstones, something that I'd never heard before, and Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Now
it.
I've got to ask: did the Gauntlet, Marvel's Gauntlet stones, did that play any into your
What wasn't
thinking,
even
or
on my
was
mind at the
it
time.
wasn't on your mind, just separate,
No.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, completely.
Well, what kind of, you got different colors, different health stones? Can you spoil it for us and tell us a little bit about the individual stones and what they do?
Sure, yeah. So I'm not going to go over every stone in detail, but in a
Sure.
nutshell, each stone represents a power or ability that Lucifer himself would have had. So,
Okay.
for example, the white hellstone represents the white of angelic wings, and the holder of that is given the gift of flight. Um, the green hellstone that Sam, the main character, wears around her neck gives her almost like a heightened sense of her surroundings. So it's like a physical ineptitude in
Mhm.
relation to like combat and stuff. So her reaction speeds are faster, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's, of course, like enhanced strength, a whole
Yeah.
gambit of things, but
Yeah.
it's limited to the 7 hellstones. Um,
Well, when
yeah.
you hear Lucifer described, he was sort of the worship leader. His whole body was like, his wings were like musical instruments, according to the Bible. When he moved his wings, it was musical, kind of like, it's described about everything praises the Lord in nature, like leaves moving,
Mhm.
by the wind and stuff. And we just can't hear the worship. Like, one thing that I heard, that someone shared with us once at a meeting we had, I can't even remember. I think exactly what it was, but we rented a place, and it was a big Legionnaires place or whatever, and
Sure.
somebody had brought the noise of the cricket makes, the chirping, the
Hmm.
wing rubbing, slowed down to the speed of the heartbeat of a person, and you would have thought it's just someone, a whole choir singing holy, holy, holy,
Oh, wow.
holy. It was really mind numbing to hear that. Um,
All right.
Wow.
Peter Orchard
Hey, Peter.
Studios in the house. Hey, Peter.
Hey.
So, what was the hardest part about coming up with your own original IP here? Was it just thinking through the different
Yeah,
iterations that you wanted, exactly what you wanted to say?
I would say the storyboarding, um,
Hmm.
tying the script to a storyboard that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I've always been a creative writer and a creative person. Like, I played at D&D for years. I'm a forever DM, so I'm used to like world building and character creation. So that part was fairly natural.
Right.
But doing the writing, doing the do of making the words match the panels, that was a bit tough. Just because you have to separate what is actually going to visually be on the page that are words and what's actually just going to be visually represented. So having to compartmentalize your brain, uh,
Yeah.
that was something that I had to learn.
So
Um,
you're thumbnailing it for the artist,
mhm.
much like you said, like a movie storyboard or something, but you're
Yeah,
thumbnailing out all, and then you got the pacing down for everything, the beats you want to hit during the
yeah,
story. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's the main reason why I'm storyboarding it out, is just to make sure that the main beats are being hit. I want him to also be able to express himself as an artist. So as long as he's playing within those beats, I'm really open to his interpretation of a scene. I don't want to feel like I'm
Mhm.
stifling his creativity too much either.
I know the way that I do it, or did it with, like, my Devil Flyer story,
Mhm.
which, mine's an anthology. It's got different stories in it, but the original story that's going to be in the book's 29 pages. I just basically drew it out and wrote the dialogue, after to what is turned in by the artist. I
Sure.
convey what I want in the storyboard, to them, and then they go and do it, and then they may add something that I, as a writer might want to comment on or something. So to me, it's kind of like the Stan Lee method.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now one thing was, I have a problem with this, and I know people say, I just put the dialogue in there anyway. If their mouth wasn't open, I didn't put dialogue in there. So, but if their mouth was even like, like this somewhat, because you got gangsters in there, you're doing that thing.
I think there's I would put validity to that, though. Yeah.
I mean, it's something I didn't take into account. If their mouth's not open, I really don't want to put the dialogue there.
Right.
Or if it's a far enough scene away and you don't really see their mouth, there's a little bitty or something, then it's like, maybe I can get away with it, where I can. But
right.
I don't let but now inevitably when I work with other people, they go, you got a script? Yeah, I don't quite work that way. I mean, I can, and I have done it that way. I'm not opposed to that. It just, I find it easier that I'm an artist, at least a capable enough artist to storyboard and then convey what I want. And then they go do their thing. And then when it's I like that freedom to be able to edit and kind of change my mind too, depending on what's turned in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I might actually just try that, just maybe on just a short story, just as an exercise.
You might find it easier. Now, I know a lot of people, I'm very shocked because I don't find any difference. In fact, I like the short stories, the shorter stories that I did in the book. But now I've had people on here say, I can't write short stories. And I'm like, I've got like a couple that are only 2 pages long. So you got to be, and there's some others that's like 5 pages. And part of the reason is I had this main story, which was taking up so much real estate, this elephant in the room. I had to do this issue just to get it out of the way, so that I could expand on my short stories and have more, character development time. Cause that's important to really, and one thing that I've learned, Frank, is that you can start at any point in the story that you want to, you can start when kind of like a movie. You can start with like Star Wars. It started with the action already going on, for the very first scene where the ships are blasting each other and you're going, what's going on? I don't know, but it's cool.
And that's
attention grabber.
Yeah, that's something I've actually kind of played around with a little bit within this series, which is great.
Well, one thing that I kept in mind was J. Michael Straczynski that wrote Babylon 5, and I think he's slated maybe to do a redo on that series, and I hope he does an upgrade because he'll probably write most of that too. He said, I wrote 1,000,000 years into the future and 1,000,000 years into the past. So I knew where I was going with the story and where I'd been. I think that's very smart to kind of write a back story and write a future story,
Yeah, absolutely. With Hellstones, it takes place in a modern time. But I also have all the way from that point through the future, or all the way from that point through the fall of Lucifer, to just develop other stories. Where have the Hellstones been for millennia? Who else has had them?
Yeah.
Why was Genghis Khan so successful taking over the known world back then? Was it because he had some stones? I don't know. Could be a fun story to tell, though.
Well, werewolves anyway. Now what age group is this for, Frank?
Well, it's not overly bloody. It's not overly filled with obscenities, but there are some. So I would say, that 16 plus kind of range.
Yeah. I was asked that by Don Chin, and I'd really not considered that before, what age group I was writing it for. But that's something I guess you had to take into consideration. Especially
it was something that was it was on the forefront of my mind. Just because back in October I had actually written and produced a children's color and creativity book that tells a little story. So I had children on my mind as I'm writing Hellstones.
Yeah.
So as I'm writing, I'm like, who is this for? So I kind of had that on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, were you primarily a Marvel or DC guy, and what would we have found in your collection?
Oh
Before
yeah,
the
I was
fire?
I was a Marvel kid, absolutely.
Oh, good.
I was
Good.
born in '81, so everything that we were just talking about as far as like Claremont and Byrne and
Yeah.
X-Men and Spider-Man at that time were great as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember the very first comic I ever picked up was at my barber's office. I was probably 7 or 8 at the time, and it was a Speedball comic. If anyone remembers
Oh,
Speedball.
wow.
Wow. With Ditko, Steve Ditko creation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like Speedball. Very short run, very kind of obscure character nowadays, but
Uh-huh. But
I just
now a New Warrior. He was big in New Warriors.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think was it late '90s, early 2000s. He had kind of a like a what was it? But he basically had a makeover, and he kind of looked like all heavy metaled out.
Oh, really? I must have missed that one.
Yeah, it was really,
Yeah.
really, really dark. I'm lost on the details, but yeah.
Huh.
Don't you mess with Speedball. He's he he's not like a Batman character that instills fear into you.
No.
He
But
bounces
that
around
one was. I
everywhere.
think he even
He's-
changed his name to
He's
like
Tigger
Penance or
on
something.
cocaine, I think, or speed.
Right. Penance. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Apex. Yeah.
Speedball
Penance is what
became
it was.
Penance. Okay.
Speedball became Penance. Yeah.
Now wasn't I mean what was Sue Richards? What did she become? Because she was all spiked out and in leather for a while. What was her name? Was her name not Penance? I can't remember.
I don't recall.
Speedball was the origin of Marvel's Civil War. That's true. Yeah, Peter, aka Pad, aka Pat. He did kind of trip off that whole thing, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's definitely what I was into, especially back then. And then as I got a little bit older, I really liked Ghost Rider and a lot of the Midnight Sun stuff. I've always liked like horror and fantasy, and Midnight Suns just kind of blended that for me. It's just that big ball of supernatural fun.
Yeah, you must have loved the Ghost Rider movies.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I wish they were a little bit better, but
everybody says that. Yeah,
but you finally see your character, your man on screen. That was cool.
Well, it's not, are you now? Are you going to go? Are you going to see any of the more recent hero movies, or do you go to the movies and watch those things?
No, I do. I mean, I haven't read anything or seen anything new in forever. I've just been wrapped up in this Hellstones production bubble.
Yeah. So, how far advanced are you into it?
So, book 0 is completely done. I'm just waiting for the Kickstarter to end, so I know how many copies I need to get in people's hands. So that's it there. I'm already storyboarding the next book, and everything beyond that is already scripted. So
issue 1, and then what will the page count be for issue 1?
Issue 1 is 24.
24 pages. Okay. Will that be the standard now for all the issues?
Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 exceptions of like a 22 page count, but that's just because it just didn't make sense to stretch it out. But,
yeah, and then you'll probably fill that gap because you got to count by 4s, right? You got to put a pin up or something. In there.
Exactly. It's just a matter of finding out how to stretch that out,
And Hale Elodie in the house. Good to see you.
Now you got to kind of rethink with the crowdfunding. You kind of have to rethink the cliffhanger, the way you end these things, right? Because of the time that goes by in between issues.
Yeah. The time is definitely a consideration. I'm hoping to put out 2 a year. I'm hoping
that's probably doable, especially since you kind of got a start on the next one, and it's going to be 24 pages, and this is a smaller 0, which is good when you do get 6 issues, or it's 6.5, let's say, it would go very well in a trade paperback format. Are these? I guess these are going to be saddle stitched then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the show, Mark Largent.
Hey
How
there,
are
Mark.
you,
And hey, Homer Glitch in the house. Good to see you, Homer.
Hey, Homer. How's your
Hey,
day?
Mark.
Hot, Mark? Is it hot?
Yeah,
in Dallas?
it's hot, but I stay inside.
Yeah,
That's the way to
much as
do it.
smart
possible.
man.
Yeah,
This is a smart man down here.
yeah. I'm trying out something new. I'm using my my phone as my camera.
There you go.
Okay, it actually looks pretty good. You know, we can see
I think
all those wonderful collectibles behind you.
Yeah, which get
Oh
more
wow!
junk
So
as I get
did
to
you get that Superman Cup and Fantastic Four? And did you like Fantastic Four?
I'm going to say this, and this may not be a popular thing, but Fantastic Four may be one of my favorite movies of all time. I really, there's, movies check your boxes sometimes, and who knows why you like something you don't. The 1960s aesthetic, I'm primed to love that.
Right.
But fairly early on, they go into space, and it was so exciting. And I could, if I can see it in 3D, every movie I go see, I see in 3D. And so the space stuff was thrilling. Galactus is huge. He's terrifying. And in 3D, the Fantastic Four are like these little itty bitty people right here with giant Galactus in the background. At some point during that, the movie triggered my imagination like a movie hasn't done in a long time. So all the faults that people say that the movie has, I see them all. And yet I fell in love with the movie at that point, and I loved everything that they did. Seeing a giant Galactus march around on the ground, the whole thing just worked for me. I will say it took some getting used to. Ben Grimm is a much more mild character in this interpretation. He's kind of soft spoken.
That had some, he's usually gruff and tumble, and it's clobbering time, right?
Yeah. And I mean, who knows what Stan and Jack intended his voice to sound like, but the cartoons always thought, well, he's a big rock guy, he should sound gravelly and bombastic. So I think
he chomped on a stogie. Just like, I think if there's one character that embodies and you shouldn't mess with ever, so if this is a wallflower, I don't want to know about it. It's Jack Kirby's thing, because I think that was kind of like if Kirby were a superhero, I think he probably poured himself into that character and identified with the thing. Like if he had an alternate version of himself, it was probably Ben Grimm for me, because he chomped a cigar like Kirby did, and I think Kirby probably put a lot of his personality in Ben Grimm. And of course, Kirby fought in World War II. He wasn't any wallflower by any means. He was a tough guy.
But if you do watch interviews with Kirby, he was kind of mild mannered anyways. There's stories of him being really gruff and stuff, but he doesn't come across that way. And I think there was a lot that they did. There's even a little when Galactus is coming through, there's a little point where they show two guys run away from their drawing boards or their drawing comics and run to the window. And it happened so quickly, I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be Stan and Jack, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's who it was supposed to be.
Well, that's cool.
And I just, you never know. Sometimes it's just what mood you're in or whatever. But like I said, I was shocked to find that I really, really loved. I liked Superman a lot, but I loved the Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, vastly two different movies, I'm sure, when you put them side by side. But I'm glad you like both.
Certainly,
of them. Enjoyed.
But both of them had both of them had Silver Age aspects to it, which I greatly enjoyed. I think in a way Superman was more starting with post-crisis stuff.
I've always said with the Fantastic Four, stick with the original material. I've even had a movie ideal in mind for years for that. So I'm glad that they've hit the 60s retro. I think retro is going to be big the next few years for several reasons. I mean, other things coming into public domain. Star Wars is going to be big in a couple of years. Why? Because it hits 50 years, and who knows what Lucas is going to do at that point. They might.
Well,
they
Lucas isn't going to do anything because Lucas sold the company, so he's not going to do anything.
Okay, Rex, I forgot. Dan. Okay.
Well, so I've got this fantasy, and maybe it'll happen. It would have been pie in the sky before, but there's a possibility. So the Fantastic Four come back in Avengers Doomsday, and without trying to be too spoilery, they're still in their 60s universe at the end of the movie. So how cool would it be if when we find them in Avengers Doomsday, we get to see the Avengers in that universe? And we go to the Avengers mansion and go ahead and use the cast, but put them in more comic accurate costumes.
Which
since it'll
cast
just be like
would it
one
be
scene.
though? Would it be like the
That's what I'm saying.
underpowered Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and Captain America team, or like the original?
No. I think you get all of the Chris's and everybody, and you put them in, and you put them in those costumes because you only need them for one scene to say something's going on, and that would be so cool, and it would completely fit into the 60s dynamic. They could have
what I want to see, Mark, is Avengers #1 cover. I want to see the Hulk with 3 toes. Just like on Avengers. I want that Hulk, Mark. Yeah, I want that Hulk. Often Kirby would do the thing that way too. He made him all kind of monstrous and different, and till he evolved into the Rocky geometric thing that he is now. But he would often do that with the toes. It would be like he's got 4, he's got 3, he's got 5. I loved it. I want to see
it's a great way to quickly visualize that this thing's monstrous. It's inhuman in some way.
That's like Eric Larson years and decades later. Meanwhile, back in Gotham, having Savage Dragon, and he only had 2 toes originally on his foot.
Oh,
when he first came out in Megaton comics or whatever.
Okay.
So I want to see that alternate version of Thin Head too.
But so that's what I'm setting myself up for with disappointment is I really want to see this happen, and it could happen. They could do it.
Well, here is my story ideal. I said they should have stuck with the original material, the old Lee Ditko, whatever. Loved when they went back to the moon in issue 13, first appearance of the Watcher, first appearance of Red Ghost and his Super Apes. I wouldn't necessarily have them in there, but when they went to the blue area of the moon, Reed Richards touches something and his head conflates into this big, one panel thing where he's like brainy, and he's like, don't touch, and Reed Richards might just touch something Watcher. And then at that point, you don't know what that machinery does. He could just, you don't even have to put the Watcher in there. It's just like an old Kree settlement, right? With this advanced stuff in it.
But why not put the Watcher? That's what I'm saying.
Why not? I would love to see the Watcher.
Doing the 60s thing, we had to be told that nobody would believe a giant guy in the sky for Galactus, so that's why we had a cloud.
Cloud,
now we got a giant guy. Yeah, now we got a giant guy, and
but now I think with that, awesome. Even then they were thinking about bringing him back, so they kind of want to obscure him and not kind of define it for the next director and the next movie. That's what I was told, from the Fantastic Four.
I think somebody was just was just trying to lie to you, Rex. I think they were just
Okay.
blowing smoke.
Well, I mean, look at Godzilla. He's always in smoke, and then that way we don't have to render it. We can just do these smoke clouds, you know. We don't have to do all that scaling. I know what it is, you know, because that
You know,
stuff's
I'm
expensive.
behind. Yeah, I'm behind the times. I did actually see it in the theater, but I just ordered the 4K of Godzilla -1, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I had a great time with Godzilla -1.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I guess
and
I just forgot about looking for it on physical media, and then
they
today it
start
just
filming
popped in
the
my head.
sequel in August, Mark, for
Oh,
Godzilla
really?
Yeah, yeah.
-2?
Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, it's the final countdown. Europe told us that back in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't have it yet, but I had I've been saving up my Amazon points forever. I've got a credit card that I get my 5% back from Amazon or whatever, and so I got it. I think I had like about $438 saved up on my Amazon thing. I've been looking for something really stupid to buy with it, because
Yeah.
that was my goal. Was, you know, if I got this, I can justify buying something completely stupid.
Yeah.
And
Like a
so
Galactus
find it.
popcorn bucket
Oh, if only.
or a Herbie. $100 a pop.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
stupid.
popping. That's crazy.
They did have the Herbie when I went. They were out of the, because I went to the Thursday night show, and they
Of
they
course
had the
they're out
Herbie,
of
but
Galactus.
they didn't have the Galactus, and they said they sold out of them. I don't think they got that many of them. They were pretty big too, so I'm sure
Yeah.
that there was a concern with how many you can fit in a box and how
It'll
many
be interesting after the movie what they will go for on eBay. You know?
Well, that's what I wonder is, okay, right now people want them and can't get them, because I got to assume these eBay people get friendly with the movie theaters. They know when these things are going to be put out or whatever. They show up. And to me, that's just frustrating, because if I'm at the first screening of Fantastic Four, they should be there.
Right.
You know, they shouldn't be
Yeah.
sold out before they're even, showing. But
Hey, Jungle.
but yeah, I didn't take the bait on Herbie. I got one of the cups, which was fine.
Yeah. And how much was that for a cup?
I think it was $25. It did come with a drink. So
Wow.
Oh, they
Holy
included
mackerel.
the drink and the straw. Wow. Okay.
Wow,
How about
that
the
was
Superman one?
yeah,
Was the Superman one about the same?
it was the same. I think it was a little.
25
The Superman
bucks.
came.
Wow.
You got a different choice of what, or well, you didn't get a choice, but it was a secret topper. So there was like a
Wow.
little Superman, a little Crypto,
Okay.
and then I got the keychain, the little shield keychain one, which is
Oh,
pretty cool.
You know, after the show today, I came up with
There's an itty bitty pop version. Well, I guess it's not pop, but there's a little itty bitty big head version of Reed Richards on it.
Okay, so they were all Reed. You had to get Reed, huh?
No, they had all four of them, but I chose to get Reed.
Oh, okay. Okay. You like the mustache, huh?
The mustache. Yeah, I just on impulse. I definitely wasn't going to buy four. I wanted to spend $100 on cups.
Right.
And so I just said, well,
I would have gone
Richards is
for
the leader. I'll
two
get
just
the lead.
because they usually produce less of the female figures.
Oh, you think that would have been the
So yeah, as far as
the thing.
collectability.
Well, that's the thing I
wise.
wonder. So right now they're the prices are real high, but do they stay high like that? What happens to these popcorn buckets 2 or 3 years later when people have forgotten about the movie or don't really care that much about them?
I imagine they'll still stay high unless they, saturate the market with more of them.
That's why I go in like a raptor and swoop in and get mine for like $25.
Yeah.
You
Just
know.
like your Spawn #1. Everybody and their mom's got one of those, so it's not worth it.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I think I got about 10 of them.
And everybody
I
stupidly
did do
goes.
that. Yeah, I did buy like 3 copies each of the Man of Steel miniseries when it came out, and 2 of the Death of Superman in the bag.
Well,
Mhm.
Mark, did you watch
We all
Krypton?
suck.
Krypton on TV had a couple seasons. Were you able to see Krypton?
I never
think
saw
was
it. I
called.
never watched it.
Really?
Yeah, I never
Okay.
watched it.
Where does
Yeah, no, I
Superman
never
rank
caught
with
that one
you?
either.
I'm a big Superman fan.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I first got serious into comics, like I got comics a bunch as a kid, but it was
Wow.
when I was sick, you know, or if we were traveling or something, I didn't get them on a regular basis. And then when Superman 2 came out, I was like, I want to read the comics. And at that point I had an allowance. And so I got in first with getting Superman Action, and they had the New Adventures of Superboy. And then DC Comics Presents, which was Superman teamed up with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then
until the Crisis
and
came
then
along, it was canceled.
then I got into the Batman ones more, and at some point I sort of dropped the Superman books.
How dare
I
you?
did get that the last Superman in Action that Alan Moore wrote, where he sort of wrapped up the story. And then I was getting the Byrne books until Byrne stopped doing any art on them. And
Yeah.
I got some around the death of Superman, but
Hey, big when Byrne got a Time magazine cover.
he did. Yeah, I got that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the TV shows, it's hit and miss for me. Especially the CW ones were really written for teenagers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were basically little soap operas that just so happened to have superhero stuff. So I never really got into them very much.
Well, my artist on Devil Flyer, John Fernandez, he's probably got both seasons of Krypton, and I think he was a little disappointed in it. But, you know, he likes that. One thing he was doing, he's a big Superman fan too. He's got every Superman, the title Superman, not Action Comics, but Superman of the 60s. And now he's working on the 50s, which are more expensive. Now, some of them are slabbed and some of them are loose. So floppies, it depends on price. But it's something he's wanting to do. I don't know why. You know, he's like 72 at this point.
Yeah.
And he's still collecting like a madman.
Some of the Silver Age ones. The Silver Age ones had great covers, you know, because they had those imaginary stories like, you know, what if Jor-El and Lar-El had come to Earth with Kal-El, you know, or
he would have a like curfew and an allowance at that point. Mark, what was going to be my question? There's my story with the Fantastic Four, I'll just tell that. I'll pivot.
Okay.
You know, if Reed touches, you know, something of the Watchers like he did in that story in 13, which probably the first time I read issue 13, which is one of the best ink, or probably one of my favorite. Probably my favorite. Okay. Fantastic Four issue is 13. Why? Because it's the only time Steve Ditko inked Jack Kirby on the series, except for 14's cover, which is not.
Oh, really, what does that look like?
The cover?
No. What does Steve Ditko inking Kirby look like?
Oh, it's wonderful. It is. I mean,
really,
you know, Steve Ditko inked him a lot, but it was the pre-Fantastic Four #1 stuff in Atlas. You know, they were timely.
Okay, it was the monster stuff.
It was the monster stuff like Groot and all that.
Giant and I could see like on the romance comics too. Ditko would have been good for those. But I do.
And I just love that they went back to the moon. They actually reached the moon because, you know, in 1 they didn't reach the moon. They crashed back to Earth, planet Houston. That's a Superman 2 reference, by the way.
Yes, that is. Yes.
Love that. All hell Zod.
Yes.
And that same damn sheriff, wasn't it? I've been seeing him in
from the James Bond
from the
movies,
James Bond,
Was-
right? Yeah,
Who was not he was not a Southerner. He
Yeah.
was just acting.
yeah. And he did a lot of the Gunsmokes I've been watching. In fact, the last Gunsmoke, who was in Jaws? Tell me the actors in Jaws, the three principal guys, not Schreider.
Roy
little guy.
Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss was in the last episode of season 18 of Gunsmoke. He played a young Jewish boy that was outraged that his brother had been killed by these three cowboys, you know, and which one, the lead cowboy was the friend on Little House on the Prairie. They're what's his name?
Oh, he had a black beard and
yes.
yeah, I don't think I know the actor's name.
Victor Frank, I don't know.
Victor sounds right. Was he another one of those football players who became
Victor
an actor,
French, wasn't it? Was it Victor French, or have I got that wrong?
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Okay. But yeah, he was on, if you think about shows like Little House on the Prairie, which really wasn't a Western, but then again,
it was kind of like a Western.
You know,
yeah.
the Western never
period,
really shut down. It became less and less, yes, but it was, and then there were the TV, like the Chisholms, you know, TV events like the Mega series that came out. You know, they used to have like War and Peace on TV, or you know, these long.
Was it Lonesome Dove? That was the big one.
Lonesome Dove was one of them. The Sackets was another late 70s Western. So it never really died out because they were like, oh, Silverado is bringing back the Western. And then we got Dances with Wolves and other stuff like that. Now, I guess in the streaming with like Yellowstone and other things, it's never really went out if you look at it.
Yeah, well, I think there are different times when it's more successful than it is. Like, remember Costner did that Open Range movie, was pretty good, and it went nowhere at the box office. And that the big one that he just did, I haven't seen it, but it completely flopped at the box office to the point that they were supposed to release 2 of them in the first year, and they held off. I don't think they gave the second one a theatrical release.
Frank, we got a question for you. Was there a particular comic that made you want to create your own comic that kind of triggered you?
A particular
Fantastic Four number 13.
Actually, it was the cover of 14. No,
there you go.
No, I wouldn't say there was a particular comic. I think, you know, just working as a colorist and being exposed to the production side of things is what gave me the courage to do it. But as far as like a particular comic or moment, no, not particularly. I mean, I ever since I was a kid, I've been a creative person, so I've always created and made things. That's just always in my DNA.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you've got a lot of artwork behind you, which is stunning. And you're primarily focused as a colorist, but now you think you'll ever draw your own comic? I mean, I know you wanted this particular artist to kind of get the right vibe for your comic. You know, he was a good fit for what you envisioned for it. But now, do you think you'll ever do one yourself?
If I do, it would be something a little more cartoony. I'm a way better cartoonist than I am like a Western or a American comic style.
Right.
The children's color and creativity book that I did, I actually illustrated all that myself. So
you know, I really don't get cartoonists out of you. You got Hellraiser and is that Faust back there? I don't know if that's Faust, but you've got Freddy. And you got Vampirella, so it's not really kid friendly. John Dillard does that too. You know, he kind of likes his cartoony style with his character, the Buckler, and other stuff, that Riff Riders and things that he's worked on. He kind of likes just doing, you know, who's editing your book, by the way? Are you the editor in chief? Yeah.
Me, yeah. I'm doing it all. It's a lot to take on, but I'm up to it. It's fun. It's fun.
Do you have a favorite genre that you color for? Carrie wants to know. That's a good question.
Oh, a favorite genre? I really like a lot of like classic fantasy. I love coloring like Red Sonja, Conan, a lot of the old school like D&D style art, stuff like that. Anything with swords and magic. I really love coloring that stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's neat because today is Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday, and also the anniversary of another fantasy movie, Krull. Did you ever get to see Krull? Because that came out about the time you were born. With that sort of rounded blade thing that he threw.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Movies like Excalibur. You probably seen
Beastmaster.
Yeah, Beastmaster movies. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All that stuff. I eat that stuff up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking about D&D, and I think really every D&D player or Magic player or anything like that that's kind of like evolved and come down that probably has a lot of roots with the sword and sorcery stuff that Frank Frazetta did. Has Frank Frazetta been a big influence on you?
His book right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely. I love Frazetta.
Yeah.
Love Frazetta.
I actually did not see that. I actually did not see that. Okay.
Yeah, love Frazetta.
Yeah,
love Boris Vallejo. All those classic painters, man. They're just so great.
Now, are you going to go to Fund My Comic or Indiegogo or anything like that after this, or why Kickstarter for you?
Well, it just came down to branding on the platform, really. When talking about Indiegogo or talking about Fund My Comic, I have to start the conversation with, well, it's like Kickstarter.
Right.
And at that point,
they are the biggest.
Well, just be on Kickstarter.
Yeah, they're the biggest and the oldest. It's kind of like, there's Etsy and other places, but eBay's the biggest.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily the best. I've had, I've had problems with eBay
I would
for
say
20 years.
Kickstarter really bummed me out because it took longer than I wanted for my project to be completed. And you basically have to re-request your backer information. So there's like this this whole thing says, okay, we're gonna allow you access again for this amount of time, and it's only during that time that people can update their address info and stuff like that. And it just became kind of a pain. And Indiegogo, I found. Plus, I did like the idea of in demand. I think Kickstarter now has something similar, but I
Mark, I remember
that
my
being one of
question because tomorrow we're going to have on Michael T. Gilbert. Do you know that name, Mr. Monster?
Mr. Monster, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Dr. Monster or Mr. Monster. Yeah. Somehow I ended up with a couple of those from like ordering from comic shops or something, and they'd throw in one or something like that. So I'm familiar with them to a degree. I'm not
to a degree.
I'm not.
I know John's Longbox had a special Kickstarter variant cover that he did, and then I think he kind of reneged. I think it started out as an exclusive when he took his first project, The Patriarch or Heroic Tales #1 over there. But now I think he eventually put it on the other couple platforms because I think he went with all 3 platforms on that. On My Comic and Indiegogo as well. And I was glad to see that because I mean, it's good to have exclusives, but if you, like me, you don't go to Kickstarter for reasons, my own reasons. It's, how they take money out late and the pledge. And then that's kind of a problem for creators. We had one on recently say that 3 times this guy had removed his pledge, had gotten the thing funded and then removed his pledge. That's a problem over there,
Yeah,
isn't it, Frank?
you do get people because they collect it at the end, and if there's something wrong with their credit card, or if they
Yeah.
just decide that they don't want to do it,
Yeah.
you suddenly find out that you have less than what was pledged.
And what do you
I
do
did my
at that
first
point
one.
if you just funded
You
and
just
then
have
we
to
don't
take it.
fund, then you get nothing?
And I do remember
Yeah.
on one of my campaigns, I had somebody who was at the $100 level and
Mhm.
didn't go through. But I did my first one in 2012, and really it was the only thing in town. And but I went. I think I was asking for like $600. I just wanted enough to make some DVDs, so I didn't. I wasn't trying to shoot for the moon, and I think I ended up getting like 3,000 or something. So it was a pretty good
Wow.
above
Yeah.
what the amount was.
Mhm.
That's good.
And then my first thing was that I had done a campaign for the City on the Edge of Foreclosure on Kickstarter.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to do the photo novel thing, and I thought rather than having, I don't even know if they would have let me do 2 Kickstarters the same. I thought, well, I'll put that on Indiegogo because then I can have access to another thing. And I ended up enjoying Indiegogo better because Kickstarter just became a pain. And so I was like, okay, well, the next one I'm just going to stick on Indiegogo. And I did get some people from Kickstarter who said, well, for whatever reason, we don't do Indiegogo. I think maybe there's something to do with PayPal or something. I don't remember now what there's some difference
It's
between the
interesting
two.
that you can't get, I mean, I don't do Kickstarter, I don't do Indiegogo, I haven't done Fund My Comic, it's and then there's Zoop and others. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But if you get your core group, I think people will follow you there. And but
Yeah.
at least those sites have more, I think, visibility. And
Yeah, I
like,
definitely think that you've got a better chance of finding new people at Kickstarter, but that's never going to be the majority of the people who back your thing. The majority of the people who back it are the people that you've somehow, reached out to, or they found out about you, because Kickstarter would promote you right at the beginning and promote you right at the end.
Yeah.
In the middle, you would completely drop off the face of the planet.
And that's usually
so
when
the
your
only way
sales start to drop off in every campaign.
Oh yeah. Your thing would go up like this, then stay just a straight line, and then go up again at the end.
Yeah.
And so I think I don't have a big audience.
You're not paying the right people, Mark. That indulgence.
Yeah, I tend to think of my audience.
Yeah.
My audience who actually back my stuff, I think I tend to think of about being maybe 150. So I'm not looking to get big returns on them.
Right.
And to be honest, at this point, as I'm gearing up for fulfillment, I'm like, how can I never do this again? That's what I keep thinking to myself. How can I just put it on digitally, or do something like that? It's been fun to make all this physical stuff, but especially since it takes me so long to make these movies, I'm basing my my goals on prices from 3 years ago, and inflation has driven all of those up by a huge amount. And I don't even know what I'm going to.
You had
I don't even know what I'm going to deal with. But I don't even know what I'm going to deal with shipping overseas. Am I going to end up having to pay tariffs on these things? I have no clue.
What I'm in some instance, maybe a VAT tax or something. That's stuck more than one person, and just the from start, like you say, and then the shipping goes up in the meantime. You might have to eat a few dollars.
I know. I got burned with some Canadian ones the last campaign I did, where I ended up having to pay extra
The
for it. And that
Canadians,
really adds up.
UK, Sweden, they all burned me. They roasted my ass.
So I'm
only
sure I'm going to be
three-
looking at
3 places for my little ash can, and it cost me $83. Yeah, that was much more than what I charged for shipping.
yeah.
Internationally,
So-
I think I charged them 18, and every one of them was over. The greatest hit was Sweden, which was 30 something.
Yeah.
But you know,
Well,
that's good.
and-
They
and-
got my book. You know.
Yeah. And
I was going to say,
screwed myself with the Viewmaster.
I was going to say another avenue is a website, but you don't get the walkthrough you do on these platforms. It's almost like having a spinner rack in your pharmacy or grocery. You can stumble into like, wow, a new universe. And now you can't do that. It's gone, except for these little DC stands that they're coming out with in different places, which are reprint things. You really
having a website is like having a drawer in your basement.
yeah. And it's for your core group, but I don't think it has any expansion unless you have
unless you can promote it,
that.
unless you can get it out there. And you know, that's the real key to this. And then, you know, I remember I used to follow webcomics back in the day, and you know, they would preach this idea of, you know, that you get your fans or whatever, and if you have like 1,000 fans, then maybe you have, you know, I don't remember if it's supposed to be 10 or 100 who will buy stuff. I think it was 100. So you're like 1/10 of the fans would be like super fans who would actually spend money on you. So you really, you know, in that, thinking of it from that terms, you have to build an audience 10 times larger than what you need to be able to support you. So you really do have to get people out there. And I think especially with YouTube and stuff, you have to have a personality. You have to people have to basically like you, and then there's an aspect of, we like what you're doing, but we also are getting this free entertainment for you, so we're willing to.
So what I'm hearing you say is I'm doomed. Nobody likes me.
Yeah. Well, especially that smear campaign that we've all been part of.
Right. Yeah. Down with Rex.
Well, gentlemen, I think I'm going to slink away back to the chat here. Definitely appreciate you having me on and having a conversation. Mark, nice to meet you.
Have you back.
Nice to meet you.
Dissect your brain a little bit more, you know, later.
Absolutely, anytime. I'd be happy to.
I'm a brain surgeon, folks. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it.
Adios.
Yeah, I mean, you know, crowdfunding has done one thing, Mark. You know, it's given us an avenue, you know, to reach that core audience and sell directly, much like I've been doing with eBay for almost 20 years. You know, you're dealing directly with your customers, and
you got a chance of finding that niche market. You know, the people who, you know, you like a certain type of thing that is not, you know, universally. You know, it's not the, you know, 18 to 24, you know, advertising market or whatever.
Yeah.
And
well, I know with
YouTube,
it gives you that demographic, you know, what
exactly. So you get, and it'll suggest to other people, you know, it's just like, you know, my Star Trek basically sat there without anybody really seeing it until suddenly it got pushed.
It's all in the title, Mark. Stalled out.
Yes.
Stalled Trek. It's in the title. Of course it went nowhere. It's stalled.
Yes. But you know, so you know, part of me says, well, if I'd been, you know, in a place where I could have leapt on that rush of people when they first found it, you know, maybe I could have built more to it. But the problem is that what I'm doing is just, you know, that happened as I was working on the last one. So, you know, I get a lot of people saying, why are you stopping this? You just started. And I'm going,
have you made any decisions on your comic book? Because you're doing a comic book with this last campaign.
Yeah, I'm. It's definitely going to be a photo comic.
Is it?
I thought about it. As much as I wanted to play with it, there's just so few of them, and the whole thing was that this is supposed to be the complete thing. So it would be kind of weird that the first two were photo comics and the third one wasn't.
So you're not going to
So I
overprint? I mean, you're going to overprint a little bit in case something gets damaged, right?
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of that, but no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell the stuff mostly because I don't want to deal with the taxes. I'm not a business. This is a hobby for me. I want to be able to fulfill what I do, and not have to get into the weeds. I also do not have a warehouse. I have a 1-bedroom
Right.
apartment, and I don't have a lot of room to have boxes of stuff. And I think that like I said, I'm really of the opinion now that whatever I do next, I'm going to consider just the digital thing. People don't buy DVDs anymore. They don't. I mean, Best Buy doesn't sell DVDs anymore.
I bought
Well,
20
yeah, but you're
seasons of
Dynasty.
Gunsmoke. Look, I'm
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I mean, I'm not the
Yeah,
only one. Like
proving
Luke,
again that
Frank's friend Luke, that did Mercenary Guild, the artwork on that. Jason Bascom's friend over there on Topic List. He's a big physical, and I think during the pandemic, a lot of people went back to that. They started collecting vinyl, trading cards, physical media.
Yeah.
I think that's,
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. You go to Target, they have cut down. You go to Walmart, they have cut down. And I think that's
Best Buy
pretty
doesn't
sad.
sell them anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I did. I don't know if I mentioned it, but over by my television, I have the 4 masters for the 3 DVDs and the Blu-ray. I'm working on the cover art, and I've got the cover art for the 3 DVDs done. I'm just doing the back of the Blu-ray, and hopefully I'm going to finish that in the next day or two. And I'm ordering the physical discs. So
Now,
it's
you watch everything in 3D where it's available, but now I went to see one of the Spider-Man movies in 3D, and his swinging and everything was just so much hard to track in 3D for me. But then I get motion sickness, but it was like it moves so quick.
Yeah, maybe that's
it kind of defeated the 3D purpose, really, for me.
Anyway. Well, all of these are I can't think of what they call it, but they're processed into 3D. Well, except for Avatar, those movies are shot in 3D. But these movies are converted to 3D. So it's a mixed bag about whether or not it's a good one or not. I saw Superman in 3D as well.
Well, now, like Captain America, the First Avenger, they had 3D, and I've actually bought those on disc in 3D, and I have a 3D Blu-ray player, but I don't have a TV set that will, that's more modern, a smart TV that can actually, translate that for me. And I got another 3D movie that I'm really wanting to watch in 3D, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I do have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched it in 3D?
I have. So I had a 3D TV and it died on me a couple of years ago. So I was going through all these hoops to try to figure out how to, because they don't sell 3D TVs anymore. They don't make new ones.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going through and I was trying out like.
So am I screwed? Are you telling me I'm screwed on a?
No. So what I eventually did is I picked up last year around Christmas time when they had the Amazon Prime thing. I picked up a projector, a laser projector that does 3D, I go through a little ritual because I have like one of those. It's the screen is like cloth or whatever, and so I I hook it up on the wall and I set it up the thing on a tripod and watch the 3D movies. I've been getting a lot of the old 50s ones because it was 53 and 54 was when they were making the original Blu-ray
Yep.
original 3D
Creature from
movies.
the Black Lagoon, Hondo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
House of Wax.
House of Wax. Yeah.
And so there's an outfit, I think they're called 3D Archive, maybe, or something like that. They've been restoring a lot of those old ones, and they'll put them out
Oh,
on
cool.
Blu-ray. And they also now, since people don't have the 3D TVs as much, they'll put on an anaglyph version. So they'll have the glasses, and you can watch it either anaglyph or if you have the thing. But I love the 3D stuff. I've got tons of them, and I got as many of the Marvel movies as I could. I think the last one I got in 3D I had to get from Japan because they
Do I
stopped
need to
making
get
it
a
in the US.
3D TV set to be able to watch what I've got, like Captain America: First Avenger or any of those that were in 3D? Even though my
You have to have
my Blu-ray player
yeah,
is a 3D, will play that.
yeah. The
I do.
TV has to
Okay.
have
And they don't
the
sell them
3D.
anymore. I'm sure they've still got some
But
box set somewhere, but you're saying get it now, you might not be able to get it later.
So they're working on this new type of 3D, which is kind of like lenticular.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what it does is it tracks you watching it, and it shifts the, I guess, the focal point to match where you're sitting, which only works with one person. So it's supposed to be interesting. It has no pop outs. You just have depth going back.
Well, if Elon has his way, we'll have it streamed straight into our brains.
Well, that would be great because that would we wouldn't have to worry about our TVs dying. But no, I've got the projector, and to be honest, I kind of, like I said, it's a kind of a ritual. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie on the thing, and it's like it blows up to it's like having a 100-inch television, so it's pretty exciting to do it. And mine does not play 4K; it only plays Blu-rays. So, but it also has Google apps in it or whatever, so I can watch all the streaming stuff. And I tell you, the thing that I did first and had the most fun with was I got out things like Gilligan's Island and the old Batman TV show, all those old things. It was cool watching them blowing up, Star Trek on a big screen. And it's not convenient. If I had a house and I had a dedicated home theater or something, that would be one thing. But it's a fairly small device, and I really enjoy it, and it's fun to be able to do that. I think I talked about one time that I got just for fun the airport movies and watched all of those on my projector. There's something fun about doing that. But yeah, I do. That's the only way I can watch 3D right now.
I know. Years ago, I went into a place and they had one of those retro laser disc, and it was quite a large console type thing. But now I saw one recently on X, a little clip where he took out the laser disc and put it in there, and it was not much bigger than a VCR. It was a little larger, but because the discs are quite big, like a record.
Right. Yeah. I never had a laser disc player. I missed
very
that.
few people did. It was kind of like beta. It died out very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it lasted, but it was expensive. And I just, at the time, I didn't have the means.
I remember when CDs came in, they did like old, like Elton John albums and other things like that. They were very limited on what they carried. And then as it went along and it became more popular and people gravitated away from cassettes, 8-tracks.
Well, and remember they pushed that
records,
that lie to us that the CDs were so much more expensive because they were establishing the technology, building the factories or whatever. And once they had all that, the price was going to come down. It never came down.
Yeah.
I worked
and really they're cheap to make. Really?
Yeah, they are very
and
cheap
mass
to make,
produced. I mean,
well, and I'll tell you, there's a big issue with some of these manufacturers who made DVDs and CDs where you get this disc rot. The discs start to separate or whatever, and they're unplayable. So a lot of us bought these DVDs thinking, well, this lasts forever. VHS tape, magnetic tape will wear out after 15 years. But people are finding out that tons of their old movies don't work anymore.
Yeah, that's like having it in the cloud. And I was like putting the Donner Superman movies and other things on there, and now for some reason, I don't know, something changed. I don't even have access to it anymore. I had quite a movie collection that when you buy the physical media, you put the code in and download
you get
get it, and I don't know, I don't even know where it is. It's out there in the cloud somewhere. So that collection,
most of them nowadays they have movies anywhere, and it kind of links to all the different ones that you have. But yeah, you're completely in that case dependent on that, them not going out of business, and you just lose everything.
Or I've seen with some of these channels, whatnot, they go like, buy a lifetime subscription, and you buy this hefty amount, and they may, or that's for the life of the company, and if they go under,
the company may not last. It
may not last.
Well, and I'll tell you, there's an interesting thing that I was watching a thing about recently. A lot of people are just using these streaming music services like Spotify or something like that, and they're going, I'm just going to sell all my old CDs. There's an interesting thing going on, though. The studios are now starting to alter the original recordings. So I think what they were talking about, that they found it like on some Queen stuff where they had auto-tuned some of them, so they had adjusted them. And if you're listening to Spotify, you're the only thing you can get is what they have up there. So there's been a little bit of a move for people to buy old CDs because they're trying to get these archived in their thing. I saw a thing that shocked me. They had put out, I think it was a reissue of Let It Be, but it was like the stripped down version, because Paul McCartney had always complained that who was the producer? It wasn't Phil Ramone. It was somebody. Who was the Wall of Sound guy?
You got
I can't think of that. But anyways,
Brian.
I don't know. Paul McCartney had always complained that the Long and Winding Road was that they added all that orchestration to it and stuff. So they had this stripped down version of it. And there's a guy on YouTube who can analyze the audio, and you can tell when it's been auto-tuned, so that because I guess when you sing, a good singer can kind of get around a note. It's sort of, they have that little vibrato or whatever.
Go outside just a minute.
And they do that little bit. And so they had auto-tuned Paul McCartney on that Let It Be album. So it's kind of, but they say that for young people, they're used to hearing everything auto-tuned.
Well, so, I told you that, well, I mean, it's kind of like, if we equate that to comics, they got, these dollar comics, or they did have, where they were doing reprints, and the color jobs were bad on those
printing.
Why they recolored? Why they recolor some of those so bad? I don't know. It's why recolor it at all? Just reprint it.
I honestly think in some of those cases, it's better just to photograph the old photograph the old comics. But I read somewhere that was a bleaching process. You had to destroy a Golden Age comic to bleach out all the color so that you just had the black line art, and they would scan that in and
so
do
you
it.
don't
So
get
you had
like
to
gray
destroy.
toning and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to destroy a physical comic. I don't think they have to do that now. I think they can do it digitally, but yeah, it's especially when it's being printed on white glossy paper and the colors just look garish.
You
And
know
you
what
can tell, you can do a side by side. They recolored them. This is not saying, oh, well, they're just using the same. No, there's art that's being done with shapes and stuff that's not being done on these. They don't match.
Yeah,
exactly.
I hate the altered stuff. Like I told you that I got from Hanna-Barbera official release of Johnny Quest. And then they came out on Blu-ray and they said, and I bought that online. I don't think I bought the first one at Walmart. And then I saw online somewhere, I think it's been a while, the uncensored version. And that was, again, Hanna-Barbera release. And I was like, they censored like Johnny, sort of smack talking a guy as he falls to his death. I don't want that. I want the original cartoons that was originally aired. I don't want the altered stuff. And they're doing that with
and the people who are
stuff.
buying those are the people who watched it when they were a kid. New kids are not watching 60-year-old cartoons.
Right. But I thought that was kind of wild that they released it in two ways. It's like the original Star Wars that you can't get anymore and he doesn't want you to see, not that there was anything hidden in there that he wants to erase from history. But
I mean, I think he's embarrassed by some of the special effects, but I think the big part is I think it's awesome. Very obvious what it is. If he puts out the special edition, that's a different movie than Star Wars.
It is,
which means the points that people get paid on it, which would include his ex-wife, don't get those points. If he puts out the original Star Wars and his wife has 6 points or whatever, she gets paid. If he puts out the special edition, she doesn't.
Yeah.
So,
but it doesn't change the movie that much. But,
there is a cool thing that they're putting out next month. They're doing the complete Huckleberry Hound Show series. Mm-hmm. And what they've done is they've gone through and they've used all the notes from the studio to rebuild the episodes. Because, they would have little shorts and they mixed in, like in the first couple of seasons, Yogi Bear was in there. And they had like the little in-between ties, even some of the commercials that they animated. So they're putting all of them in.
That's cool.
They've reassembled all of them. And I loved Huckleberry Hound. It was very funny. So,
well, next time we have you on, Mark, we'll have to ask what is on your spinner rack, because I'm sure everybody wants to know. The thing about my spinner rack is I had to put it in the raw, just like it was, because they're vintage spinner racks from the 80s, and they only fit not boarded and bagged, unless maybe digest size I could board and bag and put on there. But I had to fit the stuff in the raw because I can't even board and bag it tightly and put it in there. That's the one thing I hated about the spinner racks I've got.
So the first time I did one of these YouTube things, it was a Star Trek thing. So all of those are Star Trek comics.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't changed it. I haven't changed it since.
Is it Gold Key?
No, I didn't have any of the Gold Key. It's all mostly DC and
DC, when they were doing it. Yeah. Okay.
And then one of the, it wasn't Dark Horse. Another one of them had the.
If you like Star Trek comics, I've got a bunch from when I bought out that comic after my fire and burned up my first collection. And I turned around, took out a loan on my van, and bought out a comic book shop, a modest, smaller comic book shop from the town I was living in at the time. And the only other time that I haven't lived in Jonesboro here. And
So you
it's
put a comic shop out of
road.
business. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, he was going out of business anyway, but it was all new stuff. But now I did get that 8.5 first appearance of Harley Quinn, which I'm very proud of. And where I'm really going to make out from a bandit on that, Mark, is that mixed in there. Maybe he got it in on trades or I don't know, but he had newsstand editions, which were rare.
Okay, yeah.
So I got a lot of barcodes. That's going to be worth some money, and even in there, I've got a miscolored Thor book. I noticed it took me a while because I photographed most of it. I've got like 270 something short boxes photographed.
Good grief.
I've taken out a book or two here or there, but when I do, I eliminate it, off there. So it appears in my files. Yeah, when I moved here, you can ask Elsie. He helped me move my long boxes. They be heavy, folks. So
book boxes are
heavy. I went to short boxes, which take up more room. And I actually had some special stuff built upstairs to accommodate a lot of those short boxes. But yeah, they take up more room, but they're more easily transportable than long boxes.
So do you have a vault in your basement for your Action Comics #1?
I cannot tell you this. I do have an underground vault room. That is true.
Oh,
I've talked about it. It's 10 by 10 with an 8-foot tall concrete room.
Is it like a storm room or something?
Yes, and it's enclosed by the house. They actually enclosed it in a room, and then part of the floor opens up. The doors on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Got stairs goes down there. I'm going to put shag carpeting down there.
Or maybe they were moonshine runners or something.
Well, I'm going to put a wine
got a
rack
secret
back.
Al Capone's vault there. Yeah,
exactly. But I won't be like Geraldo and go, "Ooh, look what I found!"
Yeah,
I found that damn bottle. That was the only thing he found. This could be big news, people. No, it wasn't. It was a
that was a dumb idea to do that.
Answer
live.
this. I asked this the other day, Mark. This is a serious question.
Okay. All right.
A cow that does not give milk, is that a milk dud or an utter failure? See? Got him with that one, folks. Actually, I think you might want to stick with the phone thing. It did you pretty well today.
I was going to say, it did not freeze on me once. I think it worked better.
Yeah, so, usually Mark comes on here like Spider-Man. He's like, and then he puts his Muppet up there, his icon. Yeah. It took me 2 minutes when he came on today to know that he didn't have his icon up, because it looks so much like it.
I was starting to tell you. So I had accumulated this large sum of money on my Amazon points to buy something stupid, and it was burning a hole in my pocket. I went through Prime Days just looking, and there was just nothing that I was finding. So I had signed up for the mailing list for this tricorder. The Wand Company is putting out this tricorder that is not only like very well made and matches exactly the prop from the show, but it works.
Has the little Rorschach disc on it.
It has the little wire pattern thing that turns, and it will you can use it as a tricorder. It'll measure the temperature, the barometric pressure. It will electrical radiation. You can scan to see if anything is leaking.
Does it have an alarm?
I don't think it has an alarm, but it does have you can set the time. Also, it has it can sense how it's moving and which direction it's facing. So you can use it like a compass. So you can actually get yourself out of situations. It has every single captain's log from the original series on it. So you can call up which one. You can even put your own captain's log on it. and it
Wow.
has the video from the City on the Edge of Forever when Spock is using the little tricorder and he sees the newspapers and stuff.
Mhm.
All of that is on there. So it popped up yesterday because they only have a certain number of them at a time. And I thought, you know what? That qualifies as something really stupid. So I did go ahead and buy that. I'm supposed to get it Monday. I am super excited about this.
Didn't Warren Ellis sort of disavow they kind of changed it so much he didn't want his name on it or something?
Harlan Ellison, yeah, Harlan Ellison was
Harlan
furious that he was
Oh,
rewritten. Yeah, which
Yeah.
Roddenberry did a lot with that show. He had pissed
But it's
off
a fan
most.
favorite. It's number one every freaking year. I mean, it's an awesome episode. I mean, it's basically a love story.
So the situation with Harlan Ellison was he was one of the first writers they contacted. So before they had even started the show, Harlan Ellison was given the assignment to write that episode. But he kept sitting on it and he kept not doing it. That's why it's the last episode of the first season. And when he was writing it initially, the only thing he had to go by were the pilots because they hadn't filmed any of the episodes yet.
Wow.
But Harlan had defended Gene Roddenberry because Gene Roddenberry had reached out to all these sci-fi writers saying, this is a sci-fi show. We're actually going to reach out to real sci-fi writers. And all the ones who did submit something, Roddenberry rewrote them and they all got pissed off. And Harlan was defending Gene Roddenberry, saying, you've got to understand, he's working on and he was he was willing to defend Roddenberry until Roddenberry rewrote him.
Yeah.
Then he got very pissed off. But his story would have been super expensive. There was an actual city on the edge of Forever with giant statues. And there was a B plot where the people on the Enterprise are changed to the people who time had changed. So it was like space pirates or something were on the Enterprise. So it would have been super expensive. And so then the other thing that they did was the main thing that he always griped is the ending, in the way it was presented is Kirk loves Edith, but he knows that she has to die. So he stops McCoy from saving her. In Harlan Ellison's script, Kirk can't do it, and Spock is the one who stops McCoy. And from the point of view of the productions, they were like, well, Kirk's the hero. We can't show Kirk not being able to do the right thing.
Right.
Harlan
was saying,
but Harlan was saying, well, but he loves this woman so much he can't do it. And of course, Harlan was just like everybody else, enchanted by Mr. Spock. He was the more interesting character, so he really wanted to explore that. There's a famous thing that Harlan said is that that William Shatner came over at his house to read the script, and Harlan kind of went out of the room to let him do it, but then he kind of peeked back in, and he realized that he had just caught Shatner was counting the number of lines to make sure that Kirk had more lines than Spock.
Yeah, that was a thing.
So I think it's a great episode. I actually prefer Kirk making that sacrifice.
I do too.
It's much stronger.
I think it was at the end of 17. I really haven't been watching any specials on Gunsmoke. See how I go back. And Joe Roddenberry wrote a lot of those early
ones,
some of them. And they're bangers, they're good stories. Sam Peckinpah did too. But anyway, I think Roddenberry did more than Peckinpah did though. And his was more like
Peckinpah did Rifleman, right?
Yeah, I think so too. With Chuck Connors. But now I did watch a special at the end of. I said, well, why not? Okay. because the player I'm using now, my controller doesn't work with it, so I'm just like put it on, and but it had reached the end, and then the cursor went to play all or the early seasons. I would have to watch it all in one fell swoop because there was no play all. I'd have to get up after every episode and push play for that episode.
Okay.
The cursor would go down. Eventually, about
Yeah.
season 2 or 3, I think maybe season 3, they have a play all button.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. They should do that for all the seasons, but they didn't for the first couple of seasons. But on this one, they said, like, the tension between Matt Dillon and Kitty. Did they or didn't they? Were they, and they equated it to moonlighting. When moonlighting, they got married, the tension was gone, the character tension.
Yeah.
And views went down after that, after they got married with the series. And I remember that on Moonlighting. It's the same thing, but they kept, everybody wondering, is Miss Kitty and Dylan ever going to get together, or are they secretly together? And there are some very intimate moments, but not that intimate. I think he only kissed her once on the cheek in the whole series. So I think that tension, and I think, I also equate this to The Fugitive, Mark. 4 seasons, I think, and they resolved it at the end. Had they not resolved it, I think we would still be seeing it on TV today more and more. But they kind of resolved the mystery of it.
Yeah, but that was awesome. That was it wasn't the greatest episode of The Fugitive, but it was still cool that they wrapped it up. And that's your object to Captain Kirk destroying the computer god fall that society had a perfect utopia, no disease, no war, but Kirk with his King Kirk with his gunboat. Yeah. Well, there was definitely a humanist aspect to Star Trek, and they disliked the idea of computers replacing free will.
Yeah, they wanted that society was stagnant. They wanted it, and I never knew till David So died that was David So in that.
In the Apple.
I never knew that. That is an early row for him.
Yeah,
early row.
Yeah. Well, he was painted orange too, so that
Huh?
He was painted orange too, so that makes
maybe that threw me off, and the one guy had the little antennas that coming out of his ear. But he did a lot of westerns. He was in Gun.
Yeah, there were a lot of episodes of Kirk, talking to computers and getting them to self-destruct. And
well, you could have knocked me over a feather when he died last year, and they were going, "Yeah, he did original Star Trek, The Apple." And I was like, "Oh crap, really? That was him?"
Yeah.
And I went back and I watched that episode, or had just seen it,
And I'm blanking on which one right now, but there was an episode of Star Trek that was co-written by Sherry Lewis of Lamb Chop fame.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
is she in the credits?
Yeah.
Wow! Lamb Chop with a little sock. Well, that's right up your alley, Mark. We know how you are with puppets. I'm sure.
Yeah. You know what? Sherry Lewis was also really attractive when she was young.
She was. Yes, she was a little hottie. And you know what? She was kind of like Mel Blanc. She had quite the voice range for different voices.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Look, man, I fell right into that, and her character kind of looked like Nick Park's Shaun the Sheep. Really, if you think about it, maybe a little cuter. But now, Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. Have you ever seen that, Mark?
I've seen clips. I've never watched an episode of Kukla, Fran, and Ollie.
Oh man, I grew up on that. I mean, when I was very young, it's great. And then I'm sure a generation before me, Howdy Doody. But
yeah.
And then there was that Hollywood guy that had the top hat character with the monocle, which was kind of like a ventriloquist.
Yeah. It was The Lights of Zetar. That was the episode. It was written by Sherry Lewis and her husband.
The Lights of Zetar. Now, I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, I'm blanking
Right
on
off
it.
the bat.
I have a great gap of knowledge of the season 3 episodes because
Yeah.
I'll watch the
Oh,
first
was
2
it in
seasons over and
season
over
3?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a season 3 episode.
Season 3 kind of, I guess, kind of Gene Roddenberry backing away at that point, kind of let people like Sherry in to do some scripts, huh?
Well, yeah, they had Freddie Freeberger was the producer for the 3rd season, who was also the producer for the 2nd season of Space 1999 when they went wacky with monsters.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Let me see if I can see a picture from Lights of Zetar because that might
now
refresh
was
my
the
memory.
hot rock monster that kept clicking his claws together? Was that 3rd season when they had the battle?
That was the Savage Curtain. Yeah, that was the
yeah.
3rd
Now that
season
one's
one.
pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing photos from Lights of Zetar, and it's not ringing. Oh,
That's not the one where Scotty is enthralled by this woman and the lights come over her and she speaks in a deep voice. Yeah.
Yes, that's the Lights of Zetar, and it was co-written by Sherry Lewis. Yeah.
That episode is kind of reminiscent of the 2nd pilot where they get zapped and then they have like godlike powers and their eyes change.
Oh yeah.
You know, because or that one where they meet the guy that invented the warp, you know, and he was still young.
Zephram Cochrane, yeah.
Yeah, Zephram Cochrane. He did Gunsmoke. Just saying, folks. Just saying. You know, if you watch Gunsmoke, you will see Romulans. You will see, you will see Leonard Nimoy. You'll see Walt. You'll see Shatner. You'll see Leonard Nimoy playing Indian that lives down Florida Indian, Floridian.
Floridian.
Well, whatever. I trip over my tongue enough. You know, it's
Walter's
too bad
saying
that too bad they didn't have
drove a truck for
gators
the
in
city and did puppet shows and gave out meals and got pelted with acorns from time to time.
Oh wow! I didn't read the acorn thing. Yeah,
that's people just don't appreciate a good puppet show.
Yeah, that's true. Puppets can be creepy. Did you ever watch the Puppet Master series or the horror thing? Or probably not.
No, I never. I was out of watching horror movies by then.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about the fact that when you're a teenager and a kid, you love horror movies, and then when you get older, you're like, "Well, gosh, I don't really want to die." It's awful that these people are dying.
Yeah.
When you're young, you think you're going to live forever, and mortality doesn't mean anything to you. So yeah, kill them all off.
Yeah, the 3rd series of Star Trek, and I'll just end on this, is kind of lackluster. I mean, the one with Frank Gorshin where they have the half black and half white face.
Yeah,
I get what they're doing, but that's kind of weak. I think the shootout at OK Corral wasn't that?
That was
like
a good one.
Was that?
That was one of the first. Yeah, that was one of the first of the 3rd season, and I thought it was pretty good. And
well, that was Walter Koenig's favorite because he got a bigger role, and they had moved the time. He says they moved the time, and they were no longer.
They put it on Friday nights.
Yeah. And I
think they put it on Friday nights.
He was kind of a Davy Jones monkey character. They were trying to reach that demographic with the young people, and he said most of his fan letters were from 14-year-old girls, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's hilarious? Walter Koenig is a year older than George Takei.
Yeah.
So Sulu
in fact,
is actually
I thought he died.
younger.
I thought he died, but he's still alive. I thought he.
He's still.
I thought he was.
I think he'll be the next one to go, though. He's not been looking too good lately.
He's not been in good health, yeah. But now he's been doing
No,
some fan movies.
He got his son committed suicide, and that kind of tore him down. And
I think I had heard that. That was several years ago, but not. I mean,
it was many years ago. Yeah.
That's really affected him.
Yeah, I think
For
it
sure.
does when you have something like that. And so I saw a thing recently. They said that he was supposed to be at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention this year, and he canceled. And that's usually not a good sign. But
which is remarkable, because I mean, when William Shatner goes, oh my God, it's going to be all.
And he's 94.
I know, and still, I mean, breeds horses and shows horses and all kinds of stuff.
Still does a ton of stuff.
See ya, LZ. Since Shadowhawk's not here, Mark, what's for dinner?
I was actually thinking about getting barbecue. Briefly on the way home, I forgot I was doing this and thought, gee, I think I'm going to get some barbecue. But so I think that's me. I may order some DoorDash.
Yeah, don't blame me for. Do you do Grubhub and stuff like that where they deliver it to your house?
I do DoorDash, and I wish I wouldn't, because it makes me lazy sometimes.
Yeah,
because it's so easy to get them to bring it to you, and but
now,
it ends up costing,
or do you
a
tip
lot
them
more
when you get there?
I do the tip included, and before long, it's hard to get anything that costs less than $30.
It is.
You're going like, this is a big thing for, that if I went and picked it up, it'd probably cost me $12. So,
well, when they on their online, when you fill out the information, when it says inheritance or mortgage or how will you be paying, I'm like, nah, I can't do that. It's too much.
Yeah, I went with the kidney option because I got an extra one of those.
Peanut butter and jelly for me, folks.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw it today. Did you cover this, Rex? A big exciting news and technology. They're putting out a Reese's Oreo cookie.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a peanut butter with little chocolate chips filling for the Oreo, and then conversely, they have a Reese's cup that has Oreo flakes or crumbs or whatever
complicated.
inside.
I don't know why they just don't do the cream half and half.
I don't know. But so
Mark,
again,
would you try?
Proven that.
Would you try cranberry ginger ale by Canadian Dry? Would you try that if you saw it
out? I'd try it. I don't think I've had ginger ale in a million years.
Yeah.
I remember.
You're not Canadian, so you get a pass.
I'm assuming that back when my parents drank, they kept ginger ale for some kind of mixed drinks or something. But the only time I ever had it was if I had a tummy ache, they'd give you some ginger ale.
Well, check in with us tomorrow because we'll have Michael T. Gilbert on, and that'll be interesting.
I'll have to watch. I work from home tomorrow, so I'll be able to.
And we'll see if I can get more than 30 minutes. He says, can we do 30 minutes? And I'll be cognizant and respectful of his time, but you know me, if I can draw him out for an hour or two, I will.
You can keep them online for as long as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one time I had Mark on and he lost a couple pounds.
Yes. From not eating for 3 days. That's
right. Rex. Well, I've been known to do some marathons, but sadly today we're not going to do one, folks.
Good. I can give me some barbecue. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Now, is it? I guess most barbecue is like meat with sauce, but I think if the meat is good enough and really it's in the vinegary coleslaw, you don't need sauce. But now, if you do have a sauce, do you like sweet sauce, or is it like hot sauce, or what do you like?
I do like a sweet sauce. Well, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but um, I moved out to Texas from the South, so for
Mm.
me, barbecue was pork, was pulled pork.
Yeah,
That was called
pulled
barbecue.
pork. Yeah.
You didn't say barbecue pork or right. Barbecue was pork, and when I came out here, barbecue here is beef.
Beef, yeah,
So
beef
you
ribs.
can get pulled pork, but I tell you the greatest thing in the world is brisket they have out here,
Mm.
which
Mm-hmm.
you know wins hands down. But yeah, there was an adjustment when I came out here, getting used to the fact that I when I heard barbecue, I thought of pulled pork, and the first time I ever had barbecue, I heard, "Hey, I want a barbecue sandwich," and they gave me one. I was going, "This doesn't taste right." Um,
Yeah, because it wasn't
so
pork; it was
because it
beef.
wasn't pork, but
Yeah. Have you
I
ever
do
had
like
beef
getting.
ribs? I mean, I know they've got like pork short ribs and stuff, but beef ribs are larger. You get a lot
Yeah, I don't
more
think
on
I've
them.
ever had those. It'd be like one of those, like
Yeah.
the Flintstones when he orders
Yeah,
the big
right. Yeah, the Brontosaurus. Yeah,
brontosaurus rack
right.
of things. Oh, I just saw that. I'm not sure, it's coming up soon as the 65th anniversary of the Flintstones.
Yeah, the other day, I don't know if you caught it, but I showed some Viewmaster clips from the 60s
Oh, I
Flintstones.
love those because they had the little sculptures and they did
Yeah, it looked
little
3D.
dioramas.
It
Yeah, it
really
was
looked
great.
3D. Yeah.
Those really inspired me when I first started seeing 3D animation. I was like, it's like those Viewmaster reels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I got an old 40s Viewmaster from in this lot of stuff. It was like a 40-pound
is it that
box.
it's they used to make
Yeah.
them out of it was
We talked
Bakelite or
cellulose or something,
something?
brown.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
some kind of like
I've
clay, hardy
I've still
clay
got the
or something.
paperwork and everything. The box, it came in. I can't imagine buying this on eBay today with the shipping. It was like a 40-pound box of stuff, and
That's
it had condoms and all kinds of stuff in there. Had GI Joe pieces, and I
was it
know it's
condoms
weird,
from the
but
40s?
no, it had like one condom and had like it had a wild creature on it because this person liked to collect all this weird stuff, and
Oh, okay. So they
it
were
had like this
novel.
three-eyed
Yeah.
character, and it had a patch, and you wouldn't know that character unless you knew that it was on a condom because he had a condom and he had the patch, and I'm like, the patch is cool, but the condom, yeah, but and they
Yeah, I
had
was
this
gonna say
one white little plastic piece, and you would think, throw that thing away. What does this even go to? I knew what it was because I had it as a kid. It was a splint, a GI Joe splint for when
Oh,
he gets
okay.
wounded, and
Yeah.
I knew what it was, and it also had the little tin cup that GI Joe could, which was
Little
plastic,
mess kit.
and
Yeah.
and they had a mess kit, and that even had little forks and stuff, and that stuff is more expensive than because it's harder to find. The guns and the
Right.
grenades
People
and
lost
stuff get
those.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say with the Viewmasters, when I was in between my 3D TV and the projector, I got a MetaQuest, the VR goggle thing
Mhm.
or whatever, so that I
Yeah.
could watch it.
See, that gets me
It sucked
motion
because
sick.
the battery would last for 40 minutes, so you couldn't. It was hard to be able to watch all the movie. But on YouTube, there's lots of 3D videos, and there's a channel out there where a guy has taken all those old Viewmaster reels and put them up in 3D. So with the
That's
VR
cool.
goggles, you can watch
Uh-huh.
and see the 3D thing. So
Did you ever have, like I did, like a Hulk van, and you'd look through it and you'd see one scene with
yes,
the Hulk
I
doing,
do remember.
or
Yeah,
Spider-Man? Yeah, those were cool.
yeah, I do remember those. Yeah.
And the flicker rings, I don't know that I've ever shown you I've actually got an uncut little strip of flicker ring, inserts that they would cut into the squares and put into the
Oh,
gumball rings, and It's 1960s, probably around 66 when it came out. The Green Hornet in Cato.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those before.
Well, I'll have to get those down and show those maybe tomorrow or something. I had to actually
Yeah.
have those tacked up on one of my walls upstairs. I always love
Oh.
those flicker rings, and I've still got, I don't know if I ever showed you this, still one from my childhood, is the early 70s or maybe late 60s, probably early 70s. And it's worth about, in the early 90s, it's worth about $50. It's the Wolfman. It's amazing I still have this. Look at that. I can't even fit it on my pinky. You know,
So it's a
it's
little plastic
child
ring with a picture. Oh,
of wolf,
does it switch? Oh, okay, so it's lenticular, so he goes from
the Phantom of the Opera to the Wolfman.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. It should go from
And you can
Talbot
pop
to
these out. That's just a little cardboard
Wolf.
insert. So,
Uh-huh.
Probably a lot of people still have the ring part, but without the lenticular thing, because you could lose these
So
things
did
very easily. And it
so
is a
did
small
you
ring.
so were those just sold, or did you get them in
Probably a
like a
gumball
cereal
machine.
box?
I can't remember.
Oh, a gumball machine. Okay.
It's been a
Okay, that
minute.
makes sense.
It's been a minute. Go get
Yeah.
your barbecue.
All right, my friend.
Asking these hard questions at the end, man.
It's yeah. Now I'm going to
My
be thinking
camera's
about this all night long. That I don't have a flicker ring, so
You can look it up. Overstreet. I bought the very first couple ones in the early 90s. They got a price guide on the rings, and that one was like going for 50. And they had other Universal Monster in that series. So very hard to find, probably. That's probably why and it's probably went up since then. I've actually somewhere I've got even a smaller one that's metal. You would not produce that today out of a gumball machine because children can swallow that and choke.
Yeah.
Even that one, if you swallowed it, you'd probably choke. Even the lenticular thing.
Well, not to mention the
anything
production
round,
costs.
Yeah,
and
it's a G-Man ring. It's a G-Man ring. A
Oh,
little eagle and shield on it that I found at a flea market. Back in the early 90s. Anyway, say the magic words. I know you know them, and we'll get out of here. Maybe my
keep
camera.
collecting.
Is that the best voice you could do that in, really?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, keep collecting.